couple of days ago, somebody emailed me and indicated that they had heard a prophecy speaker on YouTube declare that on March the 23rd, 2013, as part of the Obamacare healthcare plan, that it was mandated by H.R. 3200 that everyone in the United States would be mandated to have an implanted chip placed on their body by that particular date. In other words, by March 23rd, 2013, you would have to have an implanted chip that would house your medical records, your bank account, and other vital records in this particular RFID chip by this given date. Some of you know this chip as the VeriChip or hybrid VeriChip. Certainly, in looking at the documentation from HR 3200, this particular language of the document is true. This implantable device was to be mandated in this particular healthcare bill. This sort of device would be implanted in the majority of people who opt to become covered by the public health care option. Even though the language of H.R. 3200 is correct and that implantable device was on the books for this particular legislation, it was never passed by Congress. Therefore, the passages cited from H.R. 32 are irrelevant, as that the bill was never signed into law. My warning to you is that you be wary and very aware of who it is that you listen to, and take to heart that some who are in the Bible prophecy world don't always tell the truth and aren't always updating their information to reflect the truth. In fact, I went to this person's website to see if they were still masquerading this particular prophetic falsehood, and it's still prominently displayed on their website. So I'd be careful as to who you do listen to, and like a good Bible prophecy scholars that you are, I would search the scriptures and search legislation and other things to make sure that what somebody is saying is true. And if they continue to masquerade it, call them on it. But getting back to the mark of the beast, even if this was to be true, it's still not the mark of the beast, because it doesn't line up with Scripture. Number one, this is a national mark, or a national implantation, not an international implantation, in which the mark of the beast will be when it does take place. I would encourage you to resist the temptation to fall to prophetic sensationalism. And what I mean by prophetic sensationalism, there are many out there who put a little bit of truth, just enough so that it sounds biblical, but it is so sensational that it draws a crowd. Again, I encourage you to do your homework and to search the scriptures, and along with any information that may contribute to getting the truth from whatever it is that you may hear. Certainly, we should be aware of the various devices that are available to make the mark of the beast feasible. However, you're not going to wake up one morning and find out that the mark of the beast has been instilled and that you've taken the mark. That's not going to happen. The mark of the beast will be something that when it does take place, there will be many, many things that must take place before it is instituted. And I'm going to give you a series of events that are taken straight from the Bible that must happen before the mark can be introduced and actually mandated as international law. So this VeriChip, that even if it was to go into law and you were to take it, it simply cannot be the mark of the beast, because there are too many things that must take place that are biblical that would eliminate it from being such a device. Number one is the Antichrist must first march into the Jerusalem temple and declare himself to be God. Before anything can take place, any type of chip or whatever the case may be, mark can be displayed, this particular event must take place. And as you know, the Jerusalem temple has not been created. So this mark cannot be on the earth at this time. And even if it is, it has not been introduced by the Antichrist. And that's the important aspect. It must be introduced by the Antichrist. Number two, the Antichrist will demand worship from the whole world, and he will receive it. Again, that is not taking place. Number three, the false prophet, the Antichrist high priest, will perform wondrous signs causing lightning to come down from the sky, and along with other miracles. Number four, the false prophet will erect a statue of the Antichrist and make it speak. Number five, when the statue of the beast speaks, he will demand that everyone must worship the Antichrist and take a mark, either on their forehead or on their right hand. Number six, whoever does not take this mark will be unable to buy or sell. Number seven, before anyone actually takes the mark, God will send out angels throughout the world, proclaiming from the sky not to take the mark of the beast, but worship God. The same angel will also proclaim the punishment for taking the mark, being cast into the lake of fire. Now, this is the important aspect of this right here. It would be completely irrelevant for God to send out angels to proclaim, don't take the mark of the beast or worship God, if someone had already taken the mark of the beast. In other words, if, say, tomorrow we were all mandated to take this Barrett chip implant, and years from now, when the Antichrist steps into the Jerusalem temple and declares himself to be God, and mandates that we take a mark, and this mark that you've taken already was the mark, then those angels would have no reason to come and say, don't take the mark of the beast, because some people have already taken it. Whatever the mark is, when the Antichrist declares himself to be God, it will not be something that you've already previously taken, because the message of the angels that God will send would be irrelevant. So you don't have to worry about whether or not you will take the mark of the beast ahead of schedule, and then find out that when he does declare himself to be God, that you already have the mark of the beast. That's not possible according to Scripture, because the message that God will send later to tell men and women not to take the mark of the beast would be irrelevant if some had already taken it ahead of time. All right, I hope that clears any misconceptions up, and I just wanted to clear the air and to make sure that at least my readers and my listeners understood that this particular supposed mandate or law that is a part of the Obamacare plan did not pass and was not included in Obamacare, and that this is nothing more than prophetic sensationalism by somebody who is just trying to draw a crowd. If you have any further questions on this topic, be sure to leave it in the comments section or email me, and I will be happy to further answer anything that you might have. This is Terry Malone with the Calvary Prophecy Report.